Dr. Quinn encourages learners to use other sources beyond what is available through his course. He is here just to provide you with yet another explanation.
Yet another explanation of variables. The world is made up of concepts of all shapes and sizes. These concepts can be vague and have interpretations that are all over the place. We need a way to define these concepts so that they can be observed across individuals and situations. To do this, research makes use of variables. A variable is a concept that has been operationally defined for the purpose of making observations about a concept. Or in less fancy terms, a variable is a concept whose internal components vary. Like their concept origins, a variable can come in all shapes and sizes. And all variables make use of a response set that is made up of mutually exclusive and a list of exhausted attributes. So let's define mutually exclusive and exhaustive. Mutually exclusive is the inability to belong to more than one attribute. For example, choosing strongly disagree and strongly agreed when asked about your opinion of a particular statement, or choosing two different options when asked about how frequently you do something. A response set is considered exhaustive when its attributes reflect the range of all possible answers. For example, asking highest level of education while only including high school and doctorate as the choices versus a response set that also includes high school, bachelor's, master's, and doctorate. Now that the basic makeup of a variable has been explained, let me tell you about the 4 ways variables are observed or measured. These 4 ways are nominal, ordinal, interval, and ratio. The fancy term for the ways variables are measured is called levels of measurement. Nominal variables have categorical attributes with no implied order. For example, political party, gender, and zip code are all examples of nominally measured variables. So the attributes of a nominally measured variable are qualitative in nature with no implied order. Ordinal measured variables have categorical attributes that are ordered, but the distance between attributes cannot be calculated. For example, a question that asks you to choose small, medium, or large, or one that asks you for your level of agreement. In both examples, ask yourself what is the numerical difference between each of the attributes. While large is definitely bigger than small, the numerical difference between the two doesn't exist. So attributes of an ordinal measured variable have an order to them, but no fixed distance between them. Interval measured variables have continuously measured attributes with an equal distance between each attribute. But the zero value for an interval variable does not serve as a starting point. For example, temperature. The distance between 60 degrees and 61 degrees is the same distance between 89 and 90 degrees, that of 1 degree. But with temperature, you do not have an absolute zero. You have temperatures that range below zero. Another example of an interval variable is a composite score, or scores of a scale that have been summed up. So if I had 10 questions, each with a response set of 1 to 4, and sum them up, the lowest I can get is a 10. The highest I can get is a 40. There is no zero. So attributes of an interval measured variable are ordered with a fixed distance, but no true 0 point. Finally, ratio measured variables have attributes that are continuous, that have equal distance between them, and the value of 0 means nothing or the absence of a value. Examples of ratio measured variables include age, the number of pets owned, or years spent in college. So attributes of a ratio measured variable are ordered, have a fixed distance between them, and they start with the 0 value. Confused? It would not be a good video if I did not get you confused. But let's look at it this way. Nominal and ordinal variables can be considered categorical. The attributes are descriptive and qualitative in nature. Interval and ratio variables are considered continuous. There is order, numbers, mean, value, and there is an equal distance between attributes. Now let's move on and explain how variables are used in research, particularly quantitative research. Variables can be used to describe, for example, severity of mood, Variables are used to compare. For example, comparing happiness level of dog owners and cat owners. Variables can be used to determine associations, like is there an association between studying and grade achievement? And variables can be used to explore causal relationships, such as does working out cause someone to be tired? Variables take on different roles when we use them in research, specifically in hypothesis testing. One role a variable can take on is that of an independent variable. The independent variable is the variable that is considered the predictor, or the cause, or the treatment used that may or may not have an effect on the dependent variable. The dependent variable is considered the outcome, or the effect, or the behavior being changed by the presence of the independent variable. And that, my fellow learners, is yet another explanation of what a variable is.
Join us next time for another exciting episode of Yet Another Explanation.